Well, your first Tuesday meeting starting here in October for a few weeks. So thank you for reading the emails and getting the memo of the switch of the days. We appreciate you. Let's start with bucket fills and something good. What's been going on in the last week? I feel like it right around here would be good. Oh, okay.
Weird being on that side. Last week's happy hour was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just good once a month is good enough just to hang out with Rick. Just kind of like listen to all of his stories. But yeah, no, it was a good time. So
Awesome. I know, I didn't even, I know, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
A lot going on, you know.
My
I did
big
hear
priority.
some stalking of some dogs by Heather. It was okay though.
Yeah.
What else? What else is good? Nothing? They're all fit. I know there's good things going on. Vikings won against the Packers. That was really fun.
Hey.
That was like really fun.
you were there, right?
Oh, I was there, yeah.
Let's
And
go.
like, so I don't know if you guys saw my story. It was like everyone kept saying go Pack go. And I grew up in Wisconsin and my family was like insane Packer fans. That's why I am not, because it ruins an entire day on Sunday and potentially Monday. And I posted that and I said childhood trauma. I'm just gonna tell you a little about my mom and I's relationship. And she goes, I'm so happy about your childhood trauma. I was like, this is not normal, Mom. This is not normal. So I was excited they beat them.
So, I have to thank my team because I went to, and this is really cool, I wanted to share this with the group. Last weekend, I got invited to go to a divorce camp. And this divorce camp is not for me and my marriage, it's for, it's a
You had to
class.
clarify when you left something on the printer.
Yeah. But Sherry and Jordan over there was, pre-signs and closings and they went to one. So I could be at this camp. And what's super unique is Minnesota is one of the only states that judges, mediators, referees, family attorneys, mental health professionals, including social workers, all collaborate. And now realtors, obviously, I was there, and Christian Peterson was there. He's the only other realtor that was there. So I was there to learn a lot more about what happens in the process, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to take care of families better after the dust settles and the divorce is over. And lots of stuff happens, when one, with one family or with the other spouse, and it just is an amazing experience to have everybody collaborating. And attorneys are a little weird, but nevertheless, it was really cool to be there. So it was a very neat thing that they got.
Awesome. What else? What else is good? All right, we'll move on since,
Everyone's awful.
I know, I was like, man, we need to warm up. It's not quite Wednesday, so we don't have answers yet. All right, next.
Oh,
This is you, John.
Yay. Okay. I think you probably have to be living under a rock to not know that there was a hurricane again down in Florida. And, Helene, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I always want to say Helene, and unbelievable devastation. But I think the surprising part is the real devastation was in North Carolina and inland, just unbelievable. And KW has actually hundreds of agents that lost it. And as you know, if any of you remember my little interview I had with Jamie, I mentioned that KW Cares was one I was practicing. Our culture and our, what we're willing to do for our fellow agents and the world out there is unbelievable. And we're doing it again. KW Cares is raising money for Helena, and each office has supposed to have a goal. We've set our goal at $4,000. and I think we'll blow that out of the water, but I've got a sign up sheet here that you can put your name down. We're a little confused on how to gather the money, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Track the money.
Either make a check out to KW Cares, which that way you can deduct it on your taxes. And
You donate directly?
Yep, you
Yeah.
can donate.
Directly, we
Through the
just wanna know
QR
how much,
Yeah.
so that we can, like, what you donated, you don't have to put your name on this,
Yep.
but
It's more for us tracking to see how much our market centers raised. That's what we're trying to keep an eye on.
use this. Heather, we went into it, it's a little confusing, but just do it.
And our market center is 600, in case you guys don't know that.
Yeah.
Right here, market center,
Yeah.
600.
Market Center, so we'll get credit for it, but, I'll start this. Sign, and like I say, if you don't wanna put your name down, or if you don't wanna even sign, if you wanna let Heather know how much you're
Feel free to
donating,
email.
that's fine too. Just, you can email her, do whatever. We just wanna track that our $4,000, so.
Here's
yeah.
what I would encourage.
How many
you as
agents in
well.
our office?
There's 142 now.
Can you do the math up there on the board?
Of what?
4,000 divided by 142.
Oh,
Oh.
how about you do that on your calculator and then I'll write it. in.
It's $29. It's only $29.
$8.
But here's what I would say, right, is there are some people that have had record-breaking years, and there's some people that are struggling right now, right? So no matter what the amount that you donate, do not put judgment on that piece. I don't care if it's $1, I don't care if it's $5, I don't care if it's $10, I don't care if it's $1,000, right? I don't know how many of you still go into a store, right? If you go to Macy's or you go to wherever, or Nordstrom, they'll ask you, do you want to round up to the next dollar, right? Why? Because if they have, I don't know, 1,000 people come into that store and you round up by 25 cents or 50 cents or 75 cents, every single piece of that counts, right? So if you all of a sudden you're like, oh, I just, I don't want to just donate this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, because it's all going to one big pool to help out people that are in a really, really difficult time of need. So just keep that in mind, that, every little bit counts.
Can I ask you, it says on here, honoree's first name, there's something.
Just skip past that. Just
Skip
scroll
past
down
that.
a little further
Yeah.
and you can cancel that. Yep, just skip past that.
You're on the, we tried that too, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a little confusing, but
Yep, scroll past that.
Do we have any questions around this?
yeah. Other than that one.
I believe that we can hit 4,000, if not more than that, in a very quick time period. We'll probably take a poll on this by Friday.
Yeah.
So if you could either write it on that sheet, and if you don't want to put name, just put amount and how you're gonna give it to us, whether it's through QR code or through a check, awesome. If it's something that you want to email us that amount, do that, just so that we can document that as well.
Great, all right,
Cool?
cool.
Questions?
Let's get 142 donors. Bottom line.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Is
in.
there a Venmo?
Venmo.
No, not the
Oh, okay.
international.
That'd be really.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
here's the thing, we could do all of that, however, it's not tax deductible anymore for you, right? And then it ends up going in, it's just a different process. There was a hand over here.
I clicked on your link on your Instagram story, the KW Cares, and I just went to give now, and it was really easy. I didn't give anything yet, but I just wanted to make sure it was just
Put
easy.
it on there.
It was easy to go to it and just click, so.
And here's the other thing, if you feel like this is a good opportunity, and we were gonna talk about this later, right? I put that on my Instagram story yesterday, and there were 3 different agents that are not in this market center that commented, and you know what they said about it? Now, we're talking about brand today, so this all kind of comes together in a very odd fashion. But they were like, you know what? We know that KW will give more than anybody else to things like this. So when John says that, this is why he's here, this is truly what we are known for, is the way that we give back to communities that are either in need or just in general. So you too can take that same link, take that same thing, or make your own that's branded, and get your friends, family, and have a piece of connection there that just says, hey, you know what, my goal personally is to help raise $1,000 for this. Who wants to help? Like, this is a great reach out for you as well to help others right now. Any other questions? Okay. Gold is officially sold out. We do have a waiting list. We're inching our way up for some people on that waiting list. But if it's something that you're still thinking about, let us know. First Step to Bold does not have a cap on it, so that's one where it is free. Next week, Wednesday, is the first step. So if you're like, I just want to go check this out, so next time it's here, I know whether or not to commit to it right away, show up next Wednesday. Again, we moved this meeting because this is such an important training in class. So show up there, at least on First Step, and then if you want to be put on the waiting list, let us know.
And also they're gonna be announcing they'll be doing a winter one in January.
Perfect.
So keep in mind that you'll be able to do this. They're bringing it back again right away.
Oh, this is your candy?
Right,
We all have a little spot today.
yeah. So everyone that is here, I think I've handed you out a ticket. You have to write your name on one side of this ticket, and then you can today leave it on the table. But moving forward, for every training or team meeting that you come to in fourth quarter, you want to write your name on a ticket and we'll put it in the base. We are gonna have a drawing at the end of the quarter, for one lucky winner to win a
If you want to make sure your ticket gets in the jar in case someone swipes it off a table and it accidentally falls on the floor, just put it in the little jar.
You don't have to hold on to the other side of the ticket. You just have to make sure you write your name really clearly
So that we know who it
so
is.
we know who it is, if your name is drawn. But, you'll want to do this every time you come. If you are online, we will write your ticket for you.
Awesome. Any questions around that? All right. We've got some CE that's happening this month, which yes, I know it seems early, but it's really not. So 1 hour, it's 1 hour CE, right? October 3rd at 11 a.m. It's in person only. So as you know, most of the CE classes are in person only. Otherwise, it'll be specified in the either Evite or on this slide. So again, it's here October 3rd, which is Thursday. Thursday at 11 a.m. So it's in our normal training slots. Any questions around that? Who already has some CE done for this year? Okay, okay, all right.
We're-
See that?
We're already traumatized
All
from.
right, so this is your first hour. Let's see everybody here on Thursday. All right, so we also have our Title 101 class, which is Thursday, October 10th. That's from 11 to 12. It's gonna be in the training room here. Do we have any other details on that class at all of what?
Yeah, so they are gonna run through a bunch of different things in that class. They're on the side there. So it's gonna be a lot of information to come and learn about just title and what goes into closing.
Awesome. All right, business planning clinic. We actually met this morning with some agents, and it was interesting. And I think it was also on the international call yesterday that a lot of people are like, okay, we're in Q4 right now. But in reality, we're actually in Q1, right? Because everything that you do in the next 3 months is going to stack your Q1 for next year. Part of that is business planning, right? Part of it's business planning, part of it's habits, and they all kind of go together. So we do have that coming up on Thursday, October 17th. There is a charge for this. This is a regional event. It's from 9 until 4 and it's at Cedars Hall. Has anyone signed up for this already? All right, so we got a few people that have signed up for it already. If you have not, I highly recommend signing up for this. And if you're like, man, that seems like a lot of information in that time period, then immediately or even before, once you sign up, say, hey, Kaylee, is there a time that we can meet and chat about what I got done in my rough draft of my business plan? And that's something that I can help go over with you afterwards in regards to what does that look like when we actually break it down to your 411. Questions around this at all?
Is that online, Paul?
This is in person only. So you're gonna get a big packet with that. You're gonna get homework prior to, most likely. So it's a class that you wanna be prepared for. And sometimes you're gonna be like, I don't have that information, and they'll give generalized stats for you. So in regards to conversion rates, and those are the ones that you can work off until you figure out, year over year what your own tracking is. Questions? All right,
Another CE, kind of just.
yeah, keep this one quick.
So this one, you do have to register, this is through the Minnesota Housing, Organization, and so you do have to register through the QR code. Or if you go to our Facebook page, I've also emailed it out, there's a link at the bottom. You do have to, register for this. This is also posted on their website, so other agents can also, sign up for this. I did give them our cap for the room. So once our room is full, like they'll cut it off. You do have to register prior to October 21st, or you won't get CE. That's just how they work. So if you're planning to come to that Thursday class, it's here. It should be really interesting. They're talking about, just their different programs that they have for down payment assistance, through Minnesota Housing.
How many credits?
It'll be for 1 credit.
One credit?
It's 1 hour. Yep. So it's from 11 to noon, our regular, time.
And just as a reminder, when we're doing CE, you have to be in the room for the entire hour, right? So you're most likely gonna have to sign in and you're gonna have to sign out. If you leave for a period of time and it's not just a restroom break, I just want to preface this because whoever's in here that has to make sure that you're here for the whole hour, it's gonna be a really awkward conversation that you don't get the credit, right? So just be very aware that for that 1 hour, 60 minutes, you have to be in the room, so that you get credit for that. Fair?
What if we don't know if we signed up already or not? How do we find that out?
I was just asking that question.
That's a really great question.
It's not our
sign up
sign-
again, potentially?
I would just sign up again. They'll figure it out.
I'm sure if there's like duplicate names,
Yeah.
they'll just, you know what I mean, erase it. We just don't have access to that piece of it. Any other questions? That's 2 CE credits, by the way. You're moving on up. Moving on up. All right.
See, just so everybody knows, you said our sign up sheet just for this room, we're already, and what we'd collected a little bit before this, we're already up to almost $3,000.
Okay. So I really like Halloween and someone today was like, we should have a Halloween party. And I was like, oh, did someone else just say that? So October 31st, we are actually having our vision boarding that day. If you remember, we talked about a little bit last week. Well, now you can vision board in your own personality of whatever costume you decide to pick out, right? So you might be like fun this year, you might be terrifying, whatever it is. All of them are welcome. We're gonna have a costume contest. We're gonna have treats and lunch is gonna be provided. We did have scary movies last year all day and Shane was pretty freaked out for a short period of time. So we'll make sure that they're like PG-13, not anything too bad. But it'll be fun. It'll be a fun day. So come with your costumes.
Toy Story 3.
It is when they hold hands and they're about to go down the little, like, they're about to burn.
Fine.
Childhood trauma.
That's adult trauma. That's.
So here's the big thing. We might do some, I get really into
Not that young.
Halloween sometimes. We might do some decorations, who knows? But I really want to know who is gonna wear a costume. Hands, all the hands, all the hands. Okay, those that don't have their hands raised, do we just not like wearing costumes?
Oh,
Cause I
Green
got,
is
well, if
like
you want to wear an extra
below
costume.
0 for me. It's
I'm like-
below 0. Below 0, sorry.
If,
It's
I
a
don't
polar
know,
vortex.
some of you
for me.
were here the very first, do you remember this, John?
I
It
don't
was
know.
my very first year as a TL. I came in on November 1st. I will never forget this. It's 2020, right? And I'm a pretty adventurous person and I kind of like dressing up and whatnot.
My new man.
Heather does not, and neither does Lydia so much.
But we are.
Now you do, yeah. But I mean, at that moment, you were like, why did they hire this woman, right? Okay, because I was like, guess what? We're gonna do a theme for our first meeting of the year and we're gonna dress up in costumes and it's gonna be the Avengers. Wasn't it the Avengers, I think? Yeah, it was the Avengers,
Yeah.
right? It was superhero themed. And Heather was like, No, we are not. This is not how, I was like, oh, it's happening.
to prove it.
Yeah, it was great. So, I mean, at any point in time when you guys I'm in. Mike's like, this is ridiculous.
Heather in a red.
Last time I dressed up, I was a giant Mama Smurf and I was removing blue bacon.
All right, so, and feel free to wear the costume all day, cause I will. But if you just wanna come at 11 o'clock, that's fine too, through 1 o'clock. But you know, really get into it. All right, so did we just go through this one, or is this another free seat?
This one is another one. So this one also is one you have to sign up. There's a Google form. I'll send it back out. Some people need this.
Yay,
Training. If you were sent a personal invite to this class, you need it. So please sign up. If you weren't sent an invite, you can still join. It just won't count as your code of ethics training. So,
I did not fill Candy's bucket, but let me just tell you, the work that she does to make sure that you still have your license is a lot.
And
right?
MLS access.
And well, all of it, MLS access, to have your license, and I know you might be rude sometimes, which is unacceptable, but, she puts a lot of time in so that you don't have to put the time in on the other end, right? Because when you lose your license or don't have access, there is a moment of panic, and that's why she keeps doing this. So at any point in time, just pass her office and say thank you, because this right here, like, you probably don't know if you need it. And so the fact that she sent you a personal email, is huge. So thank you for doing all of this, Candy. Oh, wait, are we doing this first? Are we doing yours?
that's from
Candy, are we doing this one first? Or are we doing Eric's first?
Oh, I have this one first. We can skip 51.
Okay, let's do Eric's first and then into that.
Oh.
Every 2 years. Yeah.
I didn't feel slighted at all.
I'm cold.
Just another quick update on that market. We're flat, basically, slightly up. There's a ton of information and a lot of, about jobs this week. The biggest one is gonna be on Friday. That's our one chance where we're gonna see maybe a positive movement. They think we've kind of hit the ceiling of where we're at with rates on this end. We're not gonna see a drastic move up right in the near term. We should see some slow movement down on that. But like I said, yesterday, like, there's gonna be a bunch of Fed folks speaking this week. Powell spoke yesterday. It was pretty hawkish, which means bad things for rates on that end, because he said we don't have to go too fast. But my guess is there's gonna be a couple more Fed people coming out saying, well, we're gonna be, appropriately fast, or one's gonna say we're gonna go super fast, and it'll all balance out. So that's kind of the market update on that end. Basically, I think it's still a good time to have a conversation with people, because there's gonna be news coming out about like wars, potential wars in Israel and with Iran, that type of thing. That's gonna have an impact on both the market as well as the interest rates. It's an opportunity to chat with people and see, hey, let's pay attention. The election's coming up. Obviously, people are always thinking that's going to have a huge impact on rates. Traditionally, it really hasn't on that end, just so you guys know, but everybody feels like it's going to this time. But generally speaking, in the last, however many, it really hasn't been that big an impact, but the impact's going to happen regardless. So on that, but that's kind of where we're at. Anybody have any questions on what they've seen recently, or thoughts, anything that I can help or research for
Has
you?
anyone used any of the conversation from last week that was taught or that we kind of talked about in regards to speaking to the rates? Or dove in and got more information on it so that you're more knowledgeable?
I've already had conversations.
Awesome, awesome.
Let me know on that. I think if you guys do want this purchasing power chart available for you, I can shoot it over. You have it printed out. Obviously, it doesn't go online, but you guys can totally use it. I think, like I said, as things are moving down, you maybe not having a conversation specifically about rate, but more about payment, right? What are we comfortable at? What does that look like? What's that range around it? So you can just be informed as we go there.
Yeah, utilize this as your tool, right? This is your tool to have the conversations. It's not a marketing tool. It's your tool to be able to speak to what they're buying or their purchasing power is. Like if you're making a phone call or if you're in a buyer appointment or a seller's appointment, it's your reference point and your resource, not necessarily the client, just to make sure nobody gets in trouble with whoever they would get in trouble
And you
with.
don't have to do any math on the fly. It's all done for you. And then the next thing, something to talk about is, we did talk about it briefly last week, higher conventional loan limits we're offering. I think we're at 800. Chances are, they announce them at the end of November. And it's the FHFA, that does it based on the price averages. I'm guessing it's gonna end up about 800, 801 on that, because they always pick a funky number. So it'll be like 800, 905 or something like that, but we're pretty close to that. So another thing to talk to people. The big thing for you guys, when you're conventional, it just gives you more options because there's more investors. You can put less down, so you can structure, you can be strategic on things. You know, if you're selling or you don't want to sell before you buy and that's kind of your price point, maybe you don't have access to as much assets because it's tied into the home. You can always do what they call like a recast or reamortization after the fact, after you sell the house. And that's available when you're doing conventional a lot more than when you're in the non-conforming area. So something to chat, something to have in your back pocket to be aware of on that. So, and then the next thing, I just wanted to thank everybody for whoever jumped onto the condo call last week. Jim is a wealth of information. Dry as the day is long, but just a ton of information. He's a lovely guy. When you meet him in person, he's like the nicest dude in the world. But yeah, I was behind the scenes speed up.
But it was good.
But if anybody wants the presentation, just let me know. Ton of information on there, even if it's something just that you want to have at your disposal, so you can say, oh, that question came up. Now I know I can go to Eric and I'll go to Jim or whatever. You'll have that information. So just shoot me a note. I'll be happy to share it with you. So you have it. But thanks for everybody who popped on too.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. I heard there was a ton of really, really good information. So,
Pretty good, yeah.
yeah,
That's pretty good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Any questions at all? No? All right.
That might be.
All right, so there always, we've chatted a little bit about various different things in the last year, the last 6 months, last three months, right? So there's always like a reason for what we do. Usually, right? Sometimes it just falls into place, but we, as a leadership team, there's this new, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, if you ever go on and see it, it's like the playbook. And it's volume 2 of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right? I got this, I opened it, and I think I shared it with you guys, and I'm like, you take one page out of this book, and you apply it to your business, and I guarantee you will meet whatever goal you had set for the year. Guarantee it, as long as you follow the actual play in it, right? And that's where I think we fall short sometimes, is we try to be really creative, or that's just not me, or if I did it this way, it would be better. They literally lay it out in here. And they have everything. They have open houses, they have circle prospecting, they have networking, they have mindset, they have everything in this. This is just one page of it. And we're starting with this one because building your brand, I think for new agents or even agents that are veteran agents, there's this idea that you need this fancy logo, you need, certain coloration and all of these other things. In reality, it's truly about building relationships, right? And what you're known for. I shared, 10 minutes ago, that agents that aren't even with this company, what's Keller known for? Always stepping in and helping. Always being able to help the community, no matter if we live there or not, right? We are known for that, by far. The other thing, everyone always calls me up during recruiting appointments. Oh, I hear that you're the company for training. And then they usually say for new agents. And then I laugh hysterically because I'm like, there is no other training that other companies do for veteran agents that's any better than the training that we have for everyone, right? It's just that usually after you're a new agent, you think you don't need training. Beyond here nor there, right? So brand is a huge thing. Next week, John's going to be teaching how to apply that to goals, which is then going to lead us into our business planning clinic. So it kind of all goes hand in hand. Mindset is more this week, and then next week is more actual goal setting, or how do we get to the goal setting portion of it, going from our GPS, all the way to our 411. So I want to start before we even dive into this. I want you to take out a piece of paper. If you don't have a piece of paper, take out your cell phone, because I know all of you have one of those. We do bucket fills and something good every single week, right? And it's really, really hard for people to come up with things. And to me, that seems very concerning. It's not concerning because you're not talking or you're not participating. What's concerning is that sometimes we might not stop and think about what we're actually grateful for, right? Or what's really good in our lives. As we just raised over $3,000 in 5 minutes, right? To help people that things are not great in their life right now. I guarantee that they are also focusing on what they're grateful for right now, right? The fact that their family probably has a place to stay since someone took them in. So what I want you to do is I want you to take about 2 minutes, and I want you to truly think and write 3 things, just 3 things that you're grateful for. Thirty more seconds. That's 5 people, just 5. Share one thing that they're grateful for. Chris,
I wrote, the ability to be active and good health.
awesome. Well, Andy,
My morning calls with my mom.
awesome.
Mom and dad, their health. One, I'm alive.
Mental health.
And
I am grateful for my accountability group that gives me somebody to do this whole thing with. And that is encouraging. And then also it gives me focus from 2 weeks. Seeing the benefits of that this.
anyone else want to share?
I agree with a number of them that were already mentioned, but, all weather, the team I'm on, opportunity.
So the reason I ask this, right, is we go through life and it's really fast paced, right? And we think of things that probably don't necessarily matter today. But when I think of brand, I think about it in this industry, it's you. Your brand is you, right? You could be here You could be at any other company, but your brand is who you are. Your uniqueness, what you do for people, what you do with people, right? And how you give back. So I joke a lot and say, you know, tell me something good and we don't say anything. But that's not just to, it's to also figure out what's good in your life, right? So we get to know each other better. All of those things are very different for people. Some really simple, some not. So as we go into this portion of building your personal brand, I want you to really, really think about this for the next 23 minutes, okay? We're not gonna rush through this, but what we are gonna do is I want you to actually participate. So if right now you're, you know, looking at Facebook or looking at Instagram or not focusing on this portion, give me 23 minutes. That's all I ask, right? And maybe you know these answers and you don't need the reminder, but I would disagree because I think we always need the reminder of what our brand is and what we're about. Would you guys agree with that? Okay, so number one, defining your uniqueness. Do you guys believe that each one of you is different? Do you believe that you're going to offer your clients something different? Do you believe you offer your friends, family, whoever else, something different, right? Because we're all unique. So when we think of that, I want you to write down number one so that we can go down this in the order all the way up to number 7. Some people say it's passion. Some people say it's what fires you up. But I want you to think, and this is probably going to be the hardest question, is what makes you unique? Because a lot of times when you have to think of yourself, you're like, I don't know, I'm the same. Or you might not be able to identify that, right? It prompts you with questions of what problem are you solving, right? So put yourself in the real estate mindset. I'm a real estate professional. What is my uniqueness for my clients? And some of you are like, I'm new. I don't know anything yet. Well, guess what? You come from a different background then, and that's part of your uniqueness. So I'm going to give you about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, to really truly think about this. And you can see up here too, there's some other questions. What am I passionate about, right? So does my team give back? Right? Some teams, some agents say, you know what? I'm going to donate this for every single transaction. What makes you unique? To think hard too on some things that you might discount is unique about you. Come from the corporate world, you deal with problem solving different than someone that has never been in the corporate world, right? You have a different perspective. Mike's with opportunity, right? It talks about problems, right? There's always going to be a problem. Always. You will not get through one transaction without a problem. Guarantee it. What also makes you unique is what are the opportunities? What are the solutions for every single problem? And there's usually multiple, right? 45 more seconds. thereabouts, not like actually 10. Alright, what did we come up with? I'm gonna write them on the board, because guess what? As unique as they are, you deliver them differently, and I guarantee some of us have the same uniqueness, right? But it's delivered differently because it's you, not Tony. It's not Rick, right? It's Alex. What were some of the things you wrote down?
I'm the only guy in the room that has a ponytail.
Ponytail, all right. If that's important to the buyer, the seller, he's your guy.
I say that in jest, but, you know, was it 3 years ago? It was my COVID cut. I'm never going to the barber until COVID is over. Obviously, they still talk about it, so. But it's amazing the reactions and comments I get, new acquaintances and friends that some want to cut it off.
It's now a brand. It truly is a
It's like
brand.
that,
It's
yeah.
like, what are you gonna do with the haircut? And you're like, I'm not doing
On the
it.
razor.
That's right.
I love that example. What else? Okay.
Takes a minute to get it out, have the interest in understanding what's truly important and motivating people enough to ask enough questions, get to really
Curiosity and interest and
curiosity.
curiosity.
what's going on. That way I can,
Okay. Maybe curiosity to motivation. What else?
Empathy and strong relationships.
What else?
I was thinking some of the things we are least proud of actually put us in a unique position. So like being divorced, not my favorite part of my history, but it does put me in a position to understand the emotional and financial things that go along with that and to help especially women who are going through and that. So, being divorced and then using that as a point of connection and helping people as someone who's been through it.
It's almost like, I don't know if utilizing is the right word.
Relatability.
Yeah.
Using your
Using every part of you, right?
your life experiences to match other
Yeah.
people. Which is another one, like my mom is aging, my dad's passed away. A lot of my friends are dealing with, oh my gosh, I don't think mom can stay in her house alone anymore. What's the next step? Which is why I want to get my SRES. That's another thing. That's another of those unique life experiences where I'm in that place. A lot of people I know are, but that becomes part of my brand, my capacity to help people.
Well, and knowing
Shared
what they're going through, and maybe some of the things you might not even know, but being prepared to help them through it, right? I always say that, I think we talked about this a little bit, like, when's the last time you moved? Right? We think it's like so easy to move, here's the movers, here's this, and let me tell you, if you've moved lately, I think we totally discount the process of buying, selling, moving, packing, and we're like, oh no, we'll see you at closing. There's a lot of stress in there, right? And there's a lot of problems to be solved. I like that. What else?
I'm 22.
Age, right? Like, that's huge, but what else have you done at 22?
Buy a house.
Bought a house, okay? How many people are like, oh, this 22-year-old just walked in the house, they're definitely not buying? How many people have done that? And you bought it at what, 19?
You're a landlord, aren't you?
And tell me at that age, if your friend was like, hey, I did this and I made money, right? And guess what? That's gonna pay down my student debt one day because I've, instead of then buying purses and doing whatever and all these other things, I invested my money and I'm gonna be light years ahead of you at 22. That's huge. What else?
Do a lot of giving back specifically with rescue for dogs, cats, as well, I don't have cats. I say a lot of stuff in my social media about the home isn't a home without a dog, and they need to find a home too, and I give every transaction I give back to the rescue company.
You're passionate about it. Two more.
Take care of mindset of don't accept failure as an option. And important mindset, because a lot of people say, oh, you're forcing a transaction or, it's a little bit too assertive or aggressive. However, we find that don't have the mindset that you're not going to accept failure as an option. It doesn't open your mind to new creative ways of solving problems that you've never thought of before. And that's when you really get the challenge. You say, wow, I mean, I can call John and it's still complicated after talking to him about something. And the easiest thing to do is say, okay, I've talked to John, he doesn't really have a solution to it. We can't come up with a solution to it. What are we gonna do? We better just stop and back out and we'll step backwards. We don't. Because
I always had a solution.
So it's almost more, it's almost like not even, it's like solution based, finding the solution for problems, right? Like it's a solution based mindset. Right?
And, but Kevin's there, and it's very important to understand the failure part, because I know, maybe that's a big word, or like a negative word. You are choosing to let it go. And if you don't set your mind to, I'm not gonna choose to not come up with a solution. You have to have that mindset in order for you to open your mind to something totally creative, new that you've never thought of before. So
Okay.
believe me, it happens all the time, as long as to everybody, as long as you say, hey, I'm gonna find a way to make this work.
Awesome. One more. Oh, two more.
I have the ability to represent underrepresented communities. So out of all the real estate agents in US, there are 6% that are African American. So one of those. Then in addition, I'm able to represent the deaf and hard of hearing community.
Awesome.
Sign
Awesome.
language.
Love that.
So soccer coach helped in actually this last bill my buyers on a house. Also, a little bit of connection, just like have that.
This is such a I'm not soccer, right? But like anyone that is, and you don't have to have kids to do this, right? There's a ton of people that I coach or talk to and they're like, oh, I'm a coach in this way, or I, volunteer here, or this, that, the other thing. I'm like, these people already trust you in every way possible, right? Like we talk about at the end of the year, you send out a thing to all of the kids' parents about the benefits or the positives of what that kid did, or maybe then, hey, here's what I could see improvement on. Do you think actually this did happen, the coach sent my daughter specifically an email about her, right? That to me was like, you care about my child, right? In that way. And what did I do? I responded to him and I said, I can't tell you how much I appreciate this because my kids have been through sports for a long time and that does not happen. That doesn't happen. You show up, you coach it, you get mad, you won, you're happy, and then it's done. But you're really, really impacting youth, right? In that way that they look up to you in a very different way than their parents, right? So that's huge. That's a huge space. And if anybody is doing that, just know how important you are to that child and their parent. I mean, when they're younger, I'm like, ooh, that's empowering, reach out. But when it gets further than that, it's a big deal. All right, moving on. Does anybody else want to add to this? Did we all write something down that we can reflect on as we move forward from this? Yes? All right. So number two is identifying your audience, right? So a lot of times there's a book called The One Thing. Gary talks about focusing. We get into the business and we're like, okay, we are going to help everybody. Can we actually do that? Maybe, right? But we're not probably doing the best job in every single way. So if you were to, this next part, I'm going to give you about a minute and a half. If you were to just say, okay, let's pinpoint who I'm focusing that I want to help, right? So it could be age, it could be diversity, right? It could be only soccer players. It could be, it could be anything. It could be only problem people that Rick wants to deal with. I mean, it could be whatever, right? Like, focus on that. Who's your audience? Who do you actually want to be your client and who do you want to help? For me, as I sold real estate, that changed. It shifted, right? Because I changed in regards to what that actually meant for my time and my sanity. The one thing for me that's never changed is building wealth with real estate. It pains me. It pains me. When someone goes in and just spends way too much money on their home and they'll never get it out. Like it's a problem, right? Where I'm like, yeah, but you could do this and you could build equity here, or you could just not do that, right? For me, that was hard. And it's really hard to have conversations with those clients. Tony's like, yeah, me too.
That changed, no, I was gonna say the opposite. That changed for me.
Really?
I want what I want.
I'm not talking
I
to
know
you,
I'm not
I'm
gonna
talking
be
about
pushed
like,
out of it.
I'm talking about when I watched that happen, right?
Well, I
Like,
know, like, but
yeah.
I'm watching myself do it.
yeah,
I'm gonna do an addition at some point that's gonna put me completely under what I have. The value and what I would be able to sell it.
yeah.
Maybe if I stay there 30 years, I could get it back, but that's.
I feel like that's not. All right, 30 seconds. All right. What do we got? Who's our audience?
Conca.
Okay. Maybe pet owners.
I concentrate a lot on my kids' school district,
Yeah.
that area, like, yeah,
Okay.
families in that area.
What else?
Shoreline builders, our clients, past clients. Husband, wife team, estate. And pickleball community.
I was like, how did pickleball not get it? And I was like, how did that not make it?
I put, sphere of influence in those around my sphere of influence. As we started to work with our sphere's kids. And so that's just, I mean, it's a good, big group of people and I love the connections and that's where we focus. That's where I focus my attention.
What else?
And families.
I was like, oh, this is a fancy word. What else?
Parables.
Investors.
Okay, so this list could go on. So part of this whole reason to go through this, right? And if you have one, I would take this with you as homework for the week, right? I don't give up homework, but I would do this. I would go through the rest of these because right here, there's some that are similar, right? You each have your own uniqueness. This, the sky is the limit on what this looks like. But if you are laser focused on who you want to help and how you want to actually communicate and get in relationship with them, you will be successful in what you're wanting to do. Would you agree with that? Did you really, in this whole section, we've got this whole group that all works, we're all in this market, right? I do not see a whole lot of overlap here. Maybe a few, right? But partly we hire people, we go to places that make us feel comfortable and seen and heard, right? I am not going to attract the same kind of clientele that someone else is going to attract. I'm not going to be able to communicate with them the same way that one of you are going to be able to, right? This is an opportunity for you to really figure out why you're doing this, who you are, who you want to attract, and how you're going to do it, right? And the reason we did this first is I'd like you to go through this so that when we start making the actual goals and the plan, first of all, if you have something really specific, you're not cold calling Plymouth, Minnetonka, Wayzata, and all these other places if this is the person that you're looking for to work with. What you're going to do is you're going to put yourself in the surroundings of those people. You're going to go to networking events for that. You're going to go to community events that they go to. You're going to start providing that online and the information that pops up that they want to know about. When you do this, you're going to attract the people that you want to work with. They're going to want to work with you, and you're going to make your life a lot easier. A lot easier. And you're going to be able to provide them the information that they want and they desire versus just splaying out information that they're like, oh, just another real estate agent trying to get a deal. Right? What questions do we have?
This playbook available? Is it out, like, fully published
You can
now,
buy
or
it
is it?
online. You can buy it online.
I have some
Okay.
copies.
I just didn't know if it was
Here's
published
the other
yet.
thing, if you're like, hey, I really want to focus on this, set up a time. Let's go through it. What does that look like for you? Right? Hey, I want to learn a better open house. Let's go through what that play looks like. You might not like everything in it because there's going to be circle prospecting, there's going to be door knocking, there's going to be 500 signs, there's going to be, you have to plan it out, but it works for them. So if that's what you want to do, try it. And don't try it for a week. Don't try it for a month. Commit to the thing that you want to actually specialize in and give it some time. Otherwise, it's not going to build the traction that you want. Any other questions? Is this helpful?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's easier when you break this down in this way to figure out what you're really passionate about and who you really want to work with? Do you feel like when you, like this portion, right? The next is like build content. When I'm excited about something, like I could legitimately put it online like every day, all day, 5 times a day, right? Like right now I'm really passionate about my senior. I could post 5 times a day about her. It's going to be hockey once she's done, right? Then I'm just going to be excited about that. And I could post about that. And people become attractional to that. I get text messages now. Hey, are you at the game? Hey, do you want to meet up? Hey, did you see that win? Hey, did you see this trade? Right? Out of the blue. Why? Because people know that's something they can communicate with me with. Vice versa. That's your job too, to say when that happens, communicate to the people that you want in your life. Hey, did you see this? Are you at the game? Are you at this event? All right.
Again, we have a few of these out. Take them with you. We're gonna go through wants and needs. What do we got?
Got a place in Watertown, a 2-bed, 1-bath, 1 car, off market, 265-ish, single family.
Nice. What else?
A 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhome in Eden Prairie. About 3 weeks.
Well, buyer's needs.
Maddie still needs, a place in Eden Prairie, 4-3.
A townhome, because we got
Oh,
one.
she wants a real house.
Okay.
A real house. A really nice yard, open concept, mostly updated. 4 beds, 3 baths, preferably a 3-car, but a 2 will work if there's.
Is there a specific area she's looking at? Would
Eden
Maddie,
Prairie School District.
would she be open to sharing that with people that want to door knock or circle prospect? As something for their own lead generation purposes? So if you're looking for lead gen options,
It would take a little.
get a hold of Wendy and Maddie and see if it's something that you can door knock and see if you can find a listing for them.
She's got some golden letters and things.
Okay?
We have an off-market, story and a half, Columbia Heights, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. 3-car detached garage. Super cute. Love, wood carpet, like that, about 250.
Any open house opportunities available for anybody? Derek?
Yes, I have a couple.
Okay, so if someone's looking for an open house, Derek has a few of them sitting in the back. Anybody else have open house opportunities?
You bet. Come talk. to me.
Tony also has open house, so they can fight, but go to both of them. Maybe you
Well,
get.
we don't need to fight.
No,
It's
there's no
only
fighting out there. We'll
Tuesday,
be cooperative.
So plenty of time to do all the things to make a great open house. It's only Tuesday. All right, we have other wants and needs. Send those to Lydia. She'll get those out later today. Again, I appreciate that you guys got the change for our very first Tuesday meeting for the next few months. And I will see you same time next week. See you. See you Thursday for PE.